The tension between Christian and Anastasia had been building for days. A disagreement, one of their first serious arguments, had sparked an emotional distance between them. Anastasia, ever the independent woman, refused to back down on an issue that weighed heavily on her heart. Christian, protective and controlling as always, was frustrated by her refusal to let him in. "You never listen to me, Christian," Anastasia snapped, her voice tinged with hurt. "You think you know what's best for me, but you don't." Christian stood across from her in the living room, his eyes dark with frustration. His jaw was clenched, his stance tense. "I do know what's best for you, Anna. I just want to protect you." "You can't protect me from everything, Christian." She turned her back to him, crossing her arms, feeling the heat of the moment clouding her thoughts. A thick silence stretched between them. Both of them were angry, but there was something else, something deeper that neither of them could ignore. Suddenly, Christian crossed the room in 2 quick strides, reaching for her arm, spinning her around to face him. His touch was firm, but not forceful. His eyes bored into hers, and the heat in the room seemed to intensify. "You think you can walk away from me?" His voice was a low growl, the tension in the air palpable. Anastasia's heart pounded in her chest. "Maybe I can," she whispered, her voice betraying her own desire. The attraction she couldn't escape. Christian's gaze softened just for a moment, but it quickly turned dark again. His lips crashed onto hers, a mixture of desperation and passion as he pulled her against him. She gasped, feeling the sudden rush of heat that spread through her body. She tried to pull away, but he was relentless, his hands threading through her hair, his mouth tracing a fiery path along her neck, his desire overwhelming hers. "Anna," he murmured, his voice rough against her skin. "Don't you dare push me away." Anastasia's mind was spinning, the fight still fresh in her memory, but her body was betraying her, responding to his touch as it always did. She let out a breathless sigh as his lips found hers again, deepening the kiss. The tension between them melted away, replaced by a fierce, burning need that neither could deny. "Let's not fight anymore," Christian said against her lips, his hands roaming down her body, pulling her even closer. She met his eyes, her chest rising and falling with every breath. "I'm not running from you," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. With that, Christian took her hand, leading her to the bedroom. Their passion was raw, uninhibited, and every touch seemed to ignite a fire between them. They were both intoxicated by the heat of the moment, forgetting everything else but each other. As the hours passed, they became tangled in each other's arms, their bodies and hearts finding their rhythm. In the bedroom, on the balcony, even in the back seat of the car on the way to an impromptu getaway. There was no escaping the intensity of what they shared. Every kiss, every touch, every word felt like an explosion of desire, each one more intense than the last. Christian's lips were everywhere, on her neck, her shoulders, down to the curve of her spine. He knew how to make her feel like the only woman in the world, how to make her forget everything except the overwhelming pleasure he could give her. And Anastasia? She surrendered to him, every inch of her body, every whisper of her name, an offering of trust and love. "I love you," Christian breathed against her skin, his hands moving with a purpose, "and I'll show you just how much." Anastasia's response was a breathless laugh, her hands gripping his back, urging him closer. "I'm not going anywhere." And just like that, they found their rhythm again, wild, passionate, and undeniable. The fight was forgotten, the love they shared more powerful than any argument, as they gave in to each other, to the fire that burned between them.